Many boys dreamed of becoming archaeologists when they were kids, mostly because they had no idea that real archaeology involves more paperwork than adventures. But don't worry, this video won't be boring. Here are 10 fascinating facts about archaeology. Did vampires ever exist? There's no real evidence, but in the past, people genuinely believed in them and even tried to fight them. How could they fight something that didn't exist? It was simple. Superstitious people targeted corpses they suspected were vampires. In Bulgaria, archaeologists have uncovered graves where bodies were pierced with metal stakes after death. We don't know what these individuals did in life to earn such a fate. Such burials have been found across Europe, especially in Poland. Various methods were used to prevent the dead from rising. One belief was that corpses chewed their burial shrouds. To stop this, people placed stones in their mouths, possibly also to prevent them from drinking blood. This skeleton's neck was pinned with a sickle, likely meant to decapitate the corpse if it tried to rise. In some cases, clothes or even the entire body were nailed to the bottom of the coffin. These practices took place during the Christian Middle Ages, though the church condemned them as pagan superstitions. Still, many people clung to both Christian and ancient beliefs. Some unusual graves are also labeled vampire burials, but may have different explanations. For instance, stones piled over a corpse might have been used to deter grave robbers or wild animals. Archaeologists often find graves where the head is separated from the body. Maybe it was a vampire precaution, or simply how executed criminals were buried. In many medieval societies, the dead were classified as either pure or impure. Impure deaths included suicides, drownings, witches, non-Christians, and unbaptized infants. These individuals were often buried face down or far from regular cemeteries. Some were even buried at crossroads to prevent their cursed souls from returning home. Archaeology isn't always tied to physical locations anymore. Remote work is becoming increasingly common, especially in fields like IT. Python is one of the most popular and beginner-friendly programming languages. Its simplicity and versatility make it ideal for web back-end development and scalable projects. Now, let's return to archaeology. There's a concept called out-of-place artifacts, items that seem too advanced for their historical period. Such artifacts are popular with conspiracy theorists who claim Earth once hosted a highly advanced civilization, or that ancient aliens visited and shared their technology. One example is the Tamil bell, found in New Zealand in 1836. It had inscriptions in ancient Tamil, a language from southern India. Back then, New Zealand had little European presence, and the indigenous Maori didn't work with metal. So how did a Tamil artifact end up there? Most likely, it came from an Indian shipwreck. The crew perished in a storm, and the bell washed ashore, where Maori used it for cooking. Another strange case involves mysterious hieroglyphs found in Abydos, Egypt. They appear to depict modern objects like a tank, a helicopter, or even a UFO. Conspiracy theorists claim this proves ancient contact with aliens, but Egyptologists explain it differently. Originally, one set of hieroglyphs was covered with plaster and replaced by new ones. Over time, the plaster eroded, merging both layers into strange shapes. This is a classic example of pareidolia, when the brain sees patterns in randomness, like seeing faces in clouds or Jesus on toast. Another controversial image is the so-called Dendera light, which resembles a giant light bulb. Some interpret this as evidence of ancient electricity. However, scholars say it shows a snake emerging from a lotus flower, symbolizing fragrance. This motif appears in many Egyptian myths. Archaeology often attracts forgers trying to pass fakes as real artifacts. Their motives range from money and fame to ideological agendas. In the 19th century, American newspapers reported horned human skulls discovered in coal mines. But these skulls vanished before scientists could examine them. Those that did reach experts turned out to be plaster fakes. Another example, the Ica stones from Peru. These smooth rocks show humans living alongside dinosaurs. Over 50,000 stones have been found, but none can be reliably dated. Mainstream scholars consider them modern hoaxes. Supporters refuse to reveal where they supposedly found the stones. Still, many alternative history enthusiasts claim these stones prove humans once lived with dinosaurs. Mysterious discoveries also happen underwater. In 2011, treasure hunters scanning the Baltic Sea found a strange object 18 meters wide. The sonar image went viral, with many suggesting it was a crashed UFO. Some artists even drew illustrations of the object, complete with divers. But scientists concluded it was just a natural rock formation shaped by glacial activity. Still, some refuse to believe it and claim the government is hiding the truth. One genuine mystery is the Baghdad Battery, discovered in Iraq in 1936. It's a clay jar with a copper cylinder and an iron rod inside. Some believe it functioned as a primitive battery, generating a small electric charge when filled with vinegar. Theories suggest it might have been used to shock worshippers or perform metal plating, but no wires or plated objects have ever been found. Most scientists think it was used to store scrolls. Just because something can be used as a battery doesn't mean it was. Like wearing a cooking pot as a helmet, it's possible, but not its intended purpose. Another wonder is the Antikythera Mechanism, over 2,000 years old. Discovered in a Roman shipwreck near Greece in 1900, it contains 30 bronze gears. Corrosion fused the gears together, but researchers preserved the artifact. X-rays revealed its intricate inner workings. It turned out to be an astronomical calculator. It predicted solar and lunar movements and even eclipses. In 2021, scientists built a working replica based on the original design. No similar devices from that era have ever been found. Alternative theorists use this to argue that ancient people had help from aliens, but it's more likely that some ancient minds were simply ahead of their time. Many Greek texts mention similar devices, suggesting this knowledge wasn't unique. Other examples just didn't survive. A particularly eerie find came from Ecuador. Archaeologists discovered infant skeletons wearing helmets made of older children's skulls. This ritual is unlike anything seen before. To make such a helmet, the skull had to retain skin and flesh, otherwise it would fall apart. These infants may have belonged to wealthy families. The skulls placed over their heads were likely meant to protect them in the afterlife. It's even possible that older children were sacrificed for the ritual. Sometimes, major discoveries come from the least glamorous objects, like fossilized feces. These are known as coprolites and paleofeces. Paleofeces retain organic material, while coprolites are fully mineralized. Why study ancient poop? It reveals diet, diseases, and even social habits of humans and animals. Undigested bones can show if ancient humans practiced cannibalism. Parasite eggs reveal what illnesses they suffered from. The shape and texture shed light on digestive systems, including those of dinosaurs. In 19th century England, large deposits of ichthyosaur coprolites were mined as fertilizer. They contain phosphoric acid, useful for agriculture. True archaeology must be objective, grounded in facts, and open to changing theories. But sometimes it has been misused to support pseudoscientific ideas. In Nazi Germany, archaeology served as a tool for racist propaganda. A special unit called Ahnenerbe, led by Heinrich Himmler, was created for this purpose. Their goal was to find evidence that justified territorial claims and racial superiority. For example, finding Germanic artifacts in Poland was used as an excuse to invade. Ahnenerbe researchers claim that all global civilizations stemmed from the Aryan race. They sought to prove that technology and morality originated with Aryans. The Nazi elite was also obsessed with mystical relics. They spent resources searching for the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant. They even looked for King Solomon's table, believed to show visions of past and future. These missions were fueled by the belief that such relics would grant ultimate power. Thanks for watching this video until the end. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you again soon.